Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Ross Patterson Revolution! Brought to you by GhostBed.com. James.
Hello.
Someone's got a case of the Mondays.
I don't know. I'm liking it though.
You feel good today?
I feel good today.
You feel strong today?
I do.
Okay.
Okay. I just feel like, there's a vaccine. We're not going to be divided anymore. It's just like, it's done. It's done. You know what I mean? And breath of fresh air. No, go ahead. Say what you're going to say.
No, I agree. I saw that was the first thing I saw this morning when I woke up was Pfizer. The vaccine's at 90% effective. Everybody's partying. The stock market's up 1,300 points or whatever. You didn't have that information, I don't know, let's just say 6 days ago. No, you had it, but today you had it the day after, or that Biden.
It's magical. It's a magical thing, and you cannot force it because it's magic and wishes. And when magic and wishes come together, the world will be healed.
As soon as I saw that, I was like, come on, man. I was like, what's next? And then the head of Pfizer said, had nothing to do with Trump's Operation Warp Speed. It was simply just their own magic and gypsy tears that made this happen. None of the money the government gave them or anything. And they had no idea about this answer until the day after Biden won. It was like, it was strange. Vaccines must work really, really strange like that.
Right.
It's just a game of inches. Comes down to a couple hours here and there, and there's no way they had this answer a week ago.
But you should take comfort in that, right? That it's now seems to be an administration of trying to do whatever Trump was doing better.
Yep.
And we're all going to benefit from that, right?
Yeah. We are. I feel great about it. To be honest with you, the reason why I feel like it's a case of the Mondays on my side was we went so hard the last 2 weeks, I think combined, because I did a bunch of interviews on other people's shows and all that other stuff. We obviously had our live election show.
Right.
It was 6-7 hours, whatever it was. Total podcasting wise, I was on air for 58 hours in the last 2 weeks. So therefore, Friday, I came home, I crashed, and I never woke up, except when it was time to coach my child's soccer game at 6 a.m. essentially. I had to get up at 6:30 for this 8 a.m. game. Sure. I know a lot of people have been asking. Hashtag Blue Dragons, Team of Destiny, God's Children, what happened, right? We were missing our two best players, and we get rocked. Had our first loss of the season, the Blue Dragons did. And the team that beat us, because we were in the championship on Saturday. If we lose the title. That's it.
Sure.
So it all comes down to next Saturday. That is it. So with the week that was going on already, a Blue Dragons loss really crushed my soul.
Yeah, the hits kept on coming,
So I came home. I think I got some sympathy food from the donut place. It's a buttery croissant with eggs, cheese, and bacon and/or sausage.
Sure.
I believe that I had 3 of those.
And that's just to start the day, friends.
Yes. That was a 9:30 a.m. right in the gullet. And so after that, I came home and I said, babe, I got to go. I got to sleep. This is it.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm all done. So I slept for 1,000 years, right? The reason why I'm telling you all of this is I slept through the announcement. I didn't know because my phone was dead and I didn't bother to plug it in because I was so exhausted that I was like, whoever calls, I don't need to talk to anyways. I did not know that Biden won until I woke up at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, because you and I were going to take the kids to drive-in.
A super spreader, yeah.
Super spreader thing
I did a
or whatever.
bunch of super spreader events this weekend, and it was fun.
Because both of us were a little under the weather, and so we
Sure.
were like, hey, we'll stay close to home and stay within our own realm or whatever, right? So we did that, and then I saw that Biden had declared victory and all that other stuff, but I was super late. I didn't know for like 5 hours, apparently. And I had no idea. And I was like, oh, all right, well, cool. And by that point, we were getting the kids out the door, so I didn't really get to see any of it. Went to that, came home and crashed. And that was actually, no, that's not true. I watched a little bit of football. Clemson went into double overtime with Notre Dame on Saturday night. And there was a bet. Well, not a bet. I just said, look, if Notre Dame wins, I'll buy some Notre Dame gear and I'll wear that on the show. It is en route to you Notre Dame fans. It is en route, and I will be wearing, whenever it shows up, I will be wearing it. Either this sports show this week or the following week. COVID, whenever you buy something, they're like, oh yeah, it'll be there in 2 days. You immediately get an email right afterwards that says, due to COVID, we're not sure. We think we just lied to you. So whatever expedited shipping you ordered, that's out the window. So it'll be here. Whenever it's here, I'll wear it. But I was going to tune in because I was sure Saturday Night Live was going to have some huge victory lap thing for Biden winning and Harris and all of that stuff. Well, it got preempted because the game went into double overtime. It went over an extra hour, and it is mandatory that no matter who your local station is, it is required. You've got to show their half hour of local news before SNL starts. So nobody in the country, maybe the West Coast ended up seeing it, but nobody in the East or Midwest or Central, us, didn't see it. And that made me happy because I was exhausted. So I went to bed and I didn't get to see any of it. Did you watch it?
All because of a man named Dabo.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dabo Sweeney.
I'm sure the left was super pumped about that.
One guy, one coach was just,
right.
He was doing it. He was going for it. And that was it. Thank God for Dabo and whatever happened, right? Finally got around to watching the election coverage on Sunday a little bit. I first saw the speech, Biden's speech, and Harris. Still seems strange. It seems strange because they were in a drive-in. People were honking horns after their statement. It was, a lot of masks, a lot of just cars, people in their cars just honking. Mm-hmm. By the way, hammer the like button on YouTube if you're watching it right now. So you can beat the algorithm.
Are you seeing the same thing on your YouTube that I am?
What am I? What are you seeing?
Where it's like before our title, it says the U.S. elections.
Yep, that's up there.
The AP has called the presidential race for Joe Biden on our screen.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Just because the title has election, so it's like
just saying.
Just so you know.
Just saying. There's
Biden
safeguarding.
Yeah.
Robust safeguards help ensure the integrity of elections and results.
Are you kidding?
No?
I don't have that on mine.
Oh, okay.
You guys have that on yours?
We have it too. Yeah.
No way.
Just saying, because we've been killing it number wise. So let's the Nooners. I know you're probably tired from your long weekend as well, getting back home.
Yep.
So let's get this thing up, and up.
Yeah, keep hammering that like button. That's crazy. I don't see that on mine. But everybody else does. Yeah. Look, that's wild, man.
So you have to scroll way down to even see our title. But anyway, go ahead.
I'm surprised there's no Jeep ads.
Oh,
yeah.
boy. No, all
I'm
right.
sorry.
I apologize. Yeah, so somebody said in the message board, refresh it, you'll see it. And then they're now censoring comments on the side, too, which is great. But yeah, it says U.S. elections. The AP has called the presidential race for Joe Biden. See more on Google, and then it says, show me.
So stop your shenanigans is what they're saying. You better stop even saying anything, okay?
Well,
you better stop even talking, okay?
Tough shit. I'm going to. When I watched their acceptance speech on Sunday morning, it was 100 cars at a drive-in honking horns, and they had masks on and everything else. The whole thing, it seems like an alternate reality where I was just like, what do we, is that what we're doing here? That's how we're going to really ring this in. But I guess they didn't have a choice, and it was on a Saturday. No, actually they did have a choice. Look, Trump has no problem going out with crowds and masks and everything else. And I hope that's not a sign of what's to come, where we're all masked up and we're living in our houses and all this other stuff. Because look, man, I don't know how many people want to take that vaccine, to be real.
But again, like besides what the guys were saying, which was traveling, you don't have to take it, right? It's for the people that are scared, and it will be like an invisible mask. Whereas right now, you can see the people that care and don't care, right?
Yep.
Clearly with the face covering on their face. Now you can do it privately at CVS, good luck with all that, or at a drive-through thing or whatever, where you can get your vaccine, and then we don't have to wear masks for you, right? And then if I get it, my bad, I didn't take the vaccine, right? I think, I'm sure to eventually, and look, I will take it if it becomes one that's like, with all the other ones that you have to take, or I will give it to my kids if they have to do it to get into school, right? There's certain things you don't rush to market. Planes, airplanes, you really work on those.
Yeah.
Vaccines.
So on this video, by the way, this things that you were talking about, I clicked it. It says robust safeguards help ensure the integrity of elections and results. What if I wanted to talk about the recount or anything else, or then I'm lying, or I'm not allowed to have these opinions and everything else? I clicked it, and it says it takes you to a website, Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency. Didn't know that was a thing. And it says mis and disinformation can undermine public confidence in the electoral process, as well as in our democracy. You know what else can undermine public confidence? Is when an entire segment of media is against you, when every social platform is against one political belief in one candidate. That can also spread disinformation and misinformation as well, and also ruin our democracy. We will see no mention of that. Let's go to the winners and losers here for this. Because, by the way, there is comments being censored on the side of this now. For people who are watching live, which is
I'm trying to allow them as soon as I can.
pure insanity, man. Winners and losers. Let's start with the 2020 election winners and losers here. Biggest loser is the media, in my opinion, including what is happening now here. You got what you wanted, right? So this was 4.5 years of just constant. We hate Trump. Clearly, they got together before this election and censored anyone remotely conservative. Twitter had disabled, most of Trump's comments and everybody else, and it was disinformation, and everybody else was correct, and they didn't allow the Hunter Biden stuff in the New York Times or the New York Post article and everything else. You got what you wanted. This was clear. It was one guy and one side of a democracy, the Republican side that you hated. You wanted this guy out of office. Congratulations. Now what happens? And this is why I say that you will end up the biggest loser out of this. There will be nothing to cover. You will have no media with Joe Biden in there, because he is in clear cognitive decline, and Jill is with him every single step of the way to guide and hold him there. It'll be very short interviews, very short clips, very few sit downs. Twitter will be run by somebody else. All of his social media will be run by somebody else. He will make very few appearances, and that will be that. I don't know what you're going to cover every single day now. You spent and made a fortune off of Trump for 4.5 years every single day. You don't have that anymore. That is all gone. There is no way you're going to be able to stay in business now. The last time this happened was with Reagan. In his last term in office, it was the same thing. He was older, clearly in cognitive decline. Nancy Reagan was by his side, holding his arm every single step of the way. They got him through it, but what happened during that time, during media and everything else, like they protected him, same way as the media is going to protect Biden, but it gives you no stories. Now, the problem is with the rise of podcasts and everything else, people are looking for voices and people who think like them, agree with them, and it is no longer the media anymore. So it is not the news. It's not Fox News. It's not CNN. It's not any of them. So more and more people will be flipping over to podcasts. Now, can you do shit like this and say the U.S. elections, the AP is called the presidential race for Joe Biden? I don't really give a shit what the AP says, to be honest. And I don't know when that was the governing rule. Was the Associated Press over all of us, but I should be able to say whatever I want about the election, and to be triggered or flags like this, like there's clearly some trigger in here that sets it of like, oh, you're talking about the election, you must be talking about the winner, Joe Biden, which has been declared or whatever. Look,
we are talking about him, by the way.
We are. We are. So
we're talking about the winner.
Yeah. I don't know what you want me to say in that.
Yeah. Is it okay to talk about how we
apparently it isn't only if
feel about that?
No.
I don't think we're so much. I mean, it is important to note, and there is some people on the board saying this, which I was reading about today too, is that Al Gore thought he was president for 38 days. So we have some
correct
time, right?
Yeah.
If they are going to do recounts or whatever, I'm not really going down that road. I don't think you are.
No, I'm not. Look, I think they should recount because of how close it was, right?
Sure, in the states and counties.
But with
where
any election, they usually do that, right?
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily some grand conspiracy theory, although I find a lot of it weird, especially Pennsylvania, where he was up by 900,000, and that just magically disappeared, and so did Michigan at 3 a.m. And
right.
Most of the swing states, he was up between 8 and 14 points, and they were like, no, the mail-in ballots. There's a lot of mail-in ballots from the military, and those are coming from overseas. So if we were going to wait to declare a winner, one would think we would actually wait for the military votes to come in. But no, we're not. We're not going to do that.
Right.
As far as the recount and all that stuff, I hope it happens. I don't want to focus on it on this show, to be honest with you. I'm not going to really focus on it on Drinkin Bros that much either, because whatever happens, the media is not really going to cover it anyways. And I don't want to go down a conspiracy rabbit hole with it either. Like, I try not to be a sore loser, or a hypocrite. So we've always said on this show for years, where that is the beauty of our country. It is a democracy, and people vote, and whatever happens at that point. How they vote is a different story. If you look at from the Trump perspective, he got 71 million votes. That is the most of a sitting president in the history of our country to get that amount of votes for Biden. It's a tough one to when you look at the numbers. He got 9 million more votes than Obama. Now, I've said this numerous times on the show. When Obama was running in 2008, it was a phenomenon. I felt it. I was there for part of it in Los Angeles. I got to see the excitement. It was a no-brainer to me. Same with Trump in 2016. It was the same electricity around these places, and Trump was a no-brainer to me in 2016. I find it unbelievably difficult, me personally, to believe that a guy who did not campaign virtually at all and was essentially confined to a basement or Zoom for virtual calls and things like this got 9 million more votes than Obama did. Because
the media campaigned for him.
Right.
And so he didn't have to, right?
Right. It's odd, though, to me, like that a guy, you cannot campaign if you don't want to. Like, the media can just do it for you. Social media apps, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, all that stuff can campaign for you. You can spend, and look, on the Democratic side, they did the right thing. They spent all their money on ads. They spent all their money in the media and made sure that he didn't have to do anything or go anywhere or make any speeches or meet anyone, to be honest with you. So, in a sense, it was a smart play, and on the Democratic side, and it worked. It looked like for Trump, I don't know what else he could have done. if we're talking about winners and losers, like, yes, I know there's a spiking of the football that Trump is gone. However, he received more votes than any other sitting president in the history of our country. That motherfucker was out 5 to 7 rallies a day. After COVID, before COVID, all of it, like, that's what you should do as president. I remember Obama doing it as well. I remember Obama's last speech the night before, like 2 a.m, and I forget what state it was in. But he barely had a voice. Same with Trump. And like, to me, those two guys campaigned. Obama and Trump campaigned. That's what you should do. That's what you should be forced to do. But I guess in the age of social media and everything else where it's all slanted one way, you don't have to do that anymore. It's weird to me. He couldn't fill up half a high school stadium. It's strange to me that he got 9 million more votes than Obama, who there was thousands of people for Obama out there at all of his rallies. They were so excited to see him. There was such an excitement around him in the Democratic Party. I can't believe that he outdrew Obama. It seems beyond insane to me, but I guess these are the numbers. So here we are with it. But it also shows you the power of what the media and social media in particular can do, where if they're just willing to campaign and do it, there's nothing you can really do to stop it. You could convince anybody, I guess, of anything at that point. So congrats, I guess, but the media will die from this. Make no mistake. I can't see them holding up more than 2 years. There is only one story out there that is left that would continue their run during the 4 years of Biden, and it's if he dies. And I'm not saying this in a facetious way at all, so please don't take it like that. He has said it numerous times,
Yeah.
Joe Biden, that he's like, man,
I want to make it, but
I don't know if I will.
Right.
And I think if there was some form of death watch, like, where he's
Right.
on his bed and he's on the thing, like,
Sure.
that's all the media could really do. And then having the first president die in office that was not assassinated. Because JFK obviously was assassinated and forced out. Lincoln, and has there been a president that has died in office that's
Yeah, William Henry Harrison died after he gave a speech in like
That's
the
right.
rain.
Yeah.
and he
Yes.
got super
He
sick.
got pneumonia.
Yeah.
Harrison died, and yeah. So I wasn't alive for that. He got pneumonia and died in the rain and whatever. Like, I know it was in the 1800s. There's a lot of weird shit back then, early 1800s. That's
yeah, if you had diarrhea back then, you better get your affairs in order. So, a different time for sure.
So I think the only major story that you could hang on is that, or I guess if they were going to stack the Supreme Court.
Look, the problem is when your entire campaign is Trump bad, right?
Right.
Orange man bad. Like, what are you doing now? They're still talking about Trump, right?
They have to.
How long? It's like that ex that you're like, I don't even care.
Yeah.
And you keep talking. Okay, but what are you going to do now for your life moving on? Well,
Right.
he was just like so bad that it's like, okay, but what are you going to do? The other thing with conspiracies is, sometimes we give people too much credit, right?
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to conspiracies and these theories and fraud and all of this, where it's like, look, humans are doing these things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Humans are doing these jobs. They're counting. They're in government. They're police officers. All of these, like, humans. When humans do jobs, there's always going to be corruption. And whenever there's corruption, there's also going to be mistakes with that, right? There's going to be people with a conscience. There's going to be leaks. There's going to be people that make mistakes in the corruption. So
Right.
I just feel like we give people too much credit
Right.
to be able to really see these things through.
Yeah.
Without the getaway driver like not showing up, or you know what I mean, flipping and confessing. It's like there's something that's always going to go wrong.
Sure.
And you will always find out about it. So it will, if there is, it will come out. If
Yeah.
there isn't,
Yeah.
it just wasn't there. That's how I feel about stuff like that.
Same. So with the whatever's going to happen with the recount and everything else, we'll wait and see. But I'm not going to talk about it every day. again, we're talking about winners and losers today on this. I mean, obviously Trump lost and Biden won, right?
Right.
That was the smart way to run the campaign, which we just talked about. Like, keep him limited, keep his mistakes at his gaffes and all that. That's at a very, very minor point.
And have Anderson Cooper basically do all of his campaigning for him.
And everyone else. And look, it was smart, and that was a win for Biden and the Democrats. And I'm shocked that it worked and it won, but it did. So you have to give them credit for that. Because if Biden lost, you could easily look back and say, well, we should have gotten him out there more. That would have been the first thing. We should have gotten him out there more. He should have been out with people. He should have done this or this or this. And he won without it. He won without campaigning, essentially. So it was the smartest move for a 78-year-old man in cognitive decline to keep him stuck like that. For Trump, lost. He was the loser of this one. I don't know what more he could have done. Again, most votes, and then a worldwide pandemic that we have not seen this in over 100+ years, barely took him out of office. Even the popular vote, like I think it's maybe Biden right now is up by maybe 3.5 million or 4 million.
Yeah, I mean that's
to get that close.
Yeah.
During a worldwide pandemic that shut down the entire world is amazing.
And especially when the polls were saying that it was going to be, 400 is what they were saying.
That's my next loser on this is the pollsters. Anybody who's doing polling right now, you're out of a job. Nate Silver looked like Julian Assange, like trying to creep out of an Ecuador hotel. Did you find me? I've been living in here forever. We're all done with that, man. We did a show. I remember the one right before the election, maybe 4 days. ABC News had Biden plus 17 in Wisconsin. No, none of these polls were correct whatsoever. It was Biden plus 10, Biden plus 11, Biden plus 12 going into the final day. None of these were close, and it took these weird mail-in ballots to actually figure it out a week later. Like, we're all done with polling and the pollsters and all that stuff. That whole line of work as a profession is done now. I will never take anything Nate Silver says seriously again, or any of these fucking guys. I don't know how you can either. And a lot of them came from the media themselves. ABC News, NBC News, CNN's poll, all of that shit. Like, no, we're done believing you. We are done believing the media at this point. And I don't know where you go with that. There has been a lot of people online. The last 24 hours, there's an app called Parler. And I know we talked about this in the past, where it's like Twitter, but I guess for conservative people. The site has almost crashed because they picked up 2 million users in the last, less than 24 hours.
Okay.
It's owned by that Dan Bongio guy, or forgive me if I'm pronouncing his last name wrong. But people are looking for an alternative other than our media or Twitter or things that are like the YouTube, things that are going to flag you for talking about the election or something else. Like, you giving me your opinion or what should be right or wrong whenever you post something isn't really freedom of speech. Bongino is his last name, Dan Bongino. That isn't really freedom of speech. Where do we go for that? Parler is billing itself as the new place of freedom of speech, and you can write whatever you want. And we're not going to flag you and all that stuff. Hopefully there's a lot more of these that pop up, but I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, I even look at Rogan's move to Spotify, and you thought that was going to be the thing, and it's not the thing. And I'm not sure where we go from here, but the media and polling and all of that stuff is done, and I think most people are done believing in it. We'll look at the losing side here for the Republicans. If you're trying to look for a silver lining in this, the candidate who is in there and is won, at least according to the AP, as you're clearly seeing on this video right now, this is the first time in American politics for the president that I can remember somebody running for only one term. So Biden will only be in there for one term. He will be 82, going on 83. I think if he were to get reelected or runs again, I don't see how that's possible, to be honest with you. If he lives through it, So if you're looking at a positive, you're not up against a young guy like Obama who's going to be in there for 8 years on the Republican side, right? You're not up against a young guy like Obama who's going to be in there for 8 years. Kamala is so unlikable that even if Biden were to pass away in office and she takes over at that point, she would never win a re-election in 2024. People hate her. Even Democrats, like staunch Democrats, hate her. She's too far left for them, so she's not going to make it in 2024. That is not going to be the candidate to pin your hopes and dreams on at that point. So I think if you're a Republican, you have to look at that in a positive. Republicans also have to look at the positive of they picked up seats in the House. They were not supposed to. In 2022, typically, the House flips every single time a new president is in there, so that means it will probably flip to Republican if you're just a betting person on this one. It happened when Trump got in. It happened when Obama got in or whatever. And so far, I think it's down to one vote here, the Republicans will hold on to the Senate. So you're not really, as long as this runoff in Georgia, I think it's down to that with Sonny Perdue. If the Republicans hold on to the Senate, there's not really much he can do in 4 years or get accomplished in that. So you're looking at a best case scenario for Republicans. If you do end up losing this election and it is called for that, you're looking at the best case scenario where it isn't a young guy who's going to be in there for 8 years. I don't really think you're going to be able to affect that much change. Yes, he'll be able to get in there and get some executive orders done, like the Paris, climate treaty and all that other stuff. And yes, we'll be giving our money away to that bullshit. The walls will be done. The travel bans will be done, and all that stuff. You'll lose that pretty quickly, but the rest of it, you're fine. Democrats, look, on the winning side, you won the election. You got the bad orange man out of there. What do you do going forward? Besides the mail-in ballot bullshit that I was unhappy about, the one thing you have to watch out for, this is the biggest takeaway that I got, was the rise of the Latino voter. They did not do what you wanted them to do in this election, and that's almost how it was lost. Was a lot of Latinos are voting Republican, and even AOC acknowledged, hey, in 2024, we've got to do a better job because that is swinging the other way. And if you're wondering why, a lot of it was like Jorge Masvidal said, where it's just, the UFC Street Jesus, where he was just like, look, man, a lot of us came from socialist countries, and then we're now in America. We're proud to be Americans. We love America. Venezuela is socialist, Cuba, and all that other stuff. It doesn't work. Even Mexico, the people that come in properly from Mexico and get their citizenship are proud to be Americans. Their government is overran, and it is shitty. They do not want to see the same thing happen here. I'm not sure the Democrats are going to be able to rely on that vote in the future. Because there's going to be too many of them. What is it? By 2030, we're supposed to, white people are going to be the minority in this country anyways. And if that's your next crop of young voters coming up, you're going to have a real serious issue, because you used to say, hey, every black and Latino voter is Democrat because we're giving you free shit and all that stuff. That is ending. I think that will eventually flip the election in years and years to come. And that's a big one. But, for the meantime, hey, you won. You got the orange man out of there, and congratulations.
I don't know. Everybody on our board is
saying what? They're going to...
It's not over.
It's not over about the recount.
It's not
and look,
over.
I understand it's not over. But for right now, as of today...
Sure.
They have declared a winner. And I am amped as amped as you are about a recount, not just because, hey, I want to see what happened in the voter fraud and everything else. It was so close in these states. When an entire election seemingly comes down to 75,000 votes or 60,000 votes, you should recount and just see what happens there. But, we had a guy here who got 6 ballots.
Yeah.
Had the picture of him, Did he do the right thing? Yeah, but, how many people didn't? I don't know. there was a neighbor of mine who said, 2020 is not going to end great. Like right now, everybody's got a victory and all this other stuff. And if you think it's going to go out like this, there could be one last huge surprise. And what bigger than the election to be overturned in 2020 and cities would burn and it would be absolute and pure chaos. Now, with that, cities burning and people celebrating and all that other shit, I would like to look at that as well and the hypocrisy of it. They showed, everybody in the streets of New York partying for Biden's victory. I find it odd that nobody, Democrat-wise, was like, COVID, we should all be inside.
Oh, my really hard left friends were like, we're definitely putting them on blast. Because they're not really happy about Biden.
Yeah, I mean,
and
look,
they've been blasting about all the anti-Biden stuff, too. It's been pretty funny.
But, I mean, look,
Interesting.
You go out in the streets and there's, 2 million people out in the middle of the streets. Meanwhile, they were condemning all those kids who rushed the field at Notre Dame after Notre Dame beat Clemson. It's the same thing, man. Either COVID's bad and we're not wearing masks or whatever, just because your celebration is more important than other people's celebration. Like, if you're pissed about COVID, you want everybody wearing masks and all that stuff.
They're eating each other, Ross. It's already started.
Well, we'll see.
They're hungry.
Hey, also, it's not official until the Kremlin recognizes the election results. So Putin has said he's going to wait and see.
Oh, is that real?
That's the official statement.
Is that real?
From Vladimir Putin.
Is that and that came out today?
Yes.
That's funny. I didn't hear that.
I'd like to talk about one more winner. A couple more winners.
Yes, go ahead.
So, Texas.
Yes.
Texas really came out. And on top of that, there was a local reporter that did a Facebook Live on the streets of Texas after. And it was Biden supporters celebrating Trump, people, Trump flags, people, Trump supporters, let's say, like all together next to each other on the street, peacefully together, just some of them celebrating, some of them just showing their support for Trump.
Right.
No violence, nothing, right?
If you're looking at who the party of tolerance is after this, you had 71 million pissed off Republicans. Nothing burned. No businesses were shut down or burned or smashed or buildings or nothing. I mean, hey, there was no... I haven't seen a protest through the streets. I was there in 2016 in New York when Trump won the day after. 10,000, 20,000 people just marching through the streets, shutting down traffic, businesses closed, all that other stuff.
Chaos. And it's been chaos ever since.
For 4 years.
That day.
There was no chaos because Republicans actually had to wake up and go to work today. So,
right.
It's Monday. We all have jobs. I don't know what's going to happen. Now, as far as Antifa goes, what happens with that?
Well, they're no longer needed, right?
Yes, but what do you do and where do they go?
Well,
do
they just
go
stop
back
getting
to...
the paychecks. So, wait, what? Again, we give these motherfuckers too much credit, right? They can't band together on that fucking thing. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess people are saying there's going to be a march on the 14th. Maybe it isn't over, right? Maybe this is the calm before the storm. I'm not sure.
I don't know.
Another winner in this is, before is me.
Yeah.
Before 2016,
Jessie,
I was a little dumb, and I was just kind of like, politics was what it was, and I had a lot of faith in the government, and they'll work it out. I'm a Y2K kid, right? Like they figured that shit out.
Yeah.
Nobody died, right? Like that's where I'm from. And since 2016, I personally, I think a lot of other people have, for whatever he is, you are more engaged. You pay attention more to the news. You know names of people that are congressmen. Like you never fucking knew that before. Don't tell me that you did, you little dum-dum.
Yeah.
So, and I said this before, was like, for whatever he is shaking things up in people where they are awake now.
Right.
And they look for truth in a different way than just like, meh.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's a positive, I think. It's a positive for people to actually be paying attention to the world around them.
Right.
And not just, it isn't as blissful. Man, I was happy. being a little, I was more of a magazine gal, you know what I mean? But I like kind of knowing about it now and paying attention to it. I was driving down the country roads and was seeing the Trump flags, and I got a little sad, like, man, he was fun.
He was fun.
He made things fucking interesting. He
Yeah.
made you pay attention.
Yeah.
And if you were mad about it, he made you figure out why you were mad and do something about it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you should be thanking him.
Yeah, I mean, look.
Or whatever.
If this is the end and he loses the recount and this is officially the end of Donald Trump as president, boy, you want to talk about a guy who went against all odds, clearly did not need to be president of the United States. Like, he's rich enough that he did not need to do this job. I don't know what the overall gain would be at his age. And again, if it was a younger guy, maybe. But at his age, what is he? He's 74. So he'll be 75 by the time he gets out of office. Like, what's to gain at that point in life where you're just like, oh, sweet, I'm going to be the most powerful dude for 10 more years? Like,
no,
you're going to die in 10
like,
years.
I'm going to shake it up. Can
Yeah.
you imagine if there was leaked tapes of him sounding like a totally normal, just intelligent dude that was like, listen, we need people to start paying attention. What can I do? And I want to do it for the people. I don't care how much money it costs. I've got money. Money doesn't matter. I am here for the people. And I will do whatever. I will be the enemy. Right? And you're like, oh my God, now that's a leaked tape.
Yeah.
You never know.
For everything that he was, I mean, look, here's why this is full honesty, right? Going back to 2016, the reason I voted for Trump was I was unhappy with the current political system. I wanted a shakeup. I wanted somebody to come in there and absolutely blow up the system in a way that has never been done before in this life. I did not know if he would do any of the things he said. I voted for chaos, and I did not like any of the politicians that were running that year on both sides at all. If you remember, it was like Marco Rubio and Jeb Bush on the Republican side. Those were the two favorites.
Right.
On the left, it was Clinton. I'm not sure if Biden was running that year or not, but I forget who else was even in that camp, right? My surprise was this. He did everything that he set out to do, or he said he was going to do. He at least tried it. Was it unorthodox? Yes, but that's also what I voted for. He tried it. For 4 years, our economy was the best it's ever been. Unemployment was at the lowest it's ever been. Financially, everything was rolling up until the pandemic. I did not really have an issue with. I wanted to get out of that fucking Paris climate deal. Like, I'm tired of paying for that shit over things we can't control. You will never, even if you're throwing all your money into that stupid thing, we can't control the pollution that comes out of China or India. We will never get honest results out of that. Therefore, we're just throwing money at things that we can't control and no one's going to change. I thought NAFTA was a shitty deal. He changed that. China, no one had negotiated with China ever. He went over there and was like, fuck this. We're going to have a trade war and we're going to do it, right? North Korea, no sitting president has been to North Korea in 60 years. As weird as all that was, at least it was peaceful. There was no wars. He was the first president to not be involved in a war or start one. That's all I could ask for. So everything that he did, for as crazy as it was, that is what I voted for. Looking back at his mistakes, the Twitter was a mistake. Because
it's fun, though.
It was fun, but because he was doing all of the things that he said, there wasn't really a need to go on Twitter that much and do and say all of the things, because truthfully, his record spoke for him. Even in that debate, the first debate that he had with Biden, when they were yelling back and forth or whatever, his record of what he said he was going to do and what he actually did for the economy and everything else was great enough that he didn't need to do the other shit. And I'm just like, fuck, man. So I don't know, but that's also what I voted for, was the chaos and all of it. And the news was fun every day. Every day we woke up, I had no idea what was going to happen or what had happened the night before. Shit was wild every single day, and it was hilarious and a blast.
Last night we might have smoked a little bit of weed before bed, and Trump was saying something about the recount or counting, and he said they needed to use binoculars.
Yeah.
Oh, and I just was like, God, I'm gonna miss that shit.
Binoculars.
He's saying
so far away.
He said they were so far away that people watching that they had to use binoculars. I mean,
all of it.
Oh.
It was a blast, and you're gonna miss it. I can
I'm
promise
gonna miss
you.
it.
Everyone's going to miss it. Frank G just said here, and somebody, would you mind fact checking this? Someone, he said that CNN says Dick Cheney will be advising Biden on foreign policy, and progressives are really shook up about this.
That's the first of many things that are going to piss you off.
Well, here's the thing. Look, Biden.
He's not progressive.
Biden is the opposite of progressive. I understand that Kamala Harris is, but Biden is not.
I've seen so many comedians do like group Zooms on YouTube. Can we push Biden left?
Oh, gotcha.
Right?
Gotcha.
I mean, it's just...
yeah, and again, this is what I was saying for the Republicans. Look, best case scenario, if you lost the presidential election, is probably this guy. Like, shit. He's a one-term president, and he's pretty much,
It's a reset button, you guys.
Yeah.
And I don't know who you're grooming. You know, I love that word. I don't know who you're grooming for 2024, but, you're going to start now, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm seeing a bunch of randos tweet this, but not official. Like,
not CNN?
Oh, okay.
not CNN.
Okay.
No.
Okay. So I look. We
No
can't
Cheney
confirm
yet.
that. No Cheney yet.
Frank G.
Jeez.
And then
Not
we have
sure
another.
Frank G.
So Danielle Villarreal.
Yes.
You're welcome.
So by the way, to end the winners and losers segment
I was
here.
gonna read. Yeah.
I apologize. To end that here, looking ahead for 2024, who's going to be the winner and loser in that? The Democrats are going to have to run a new candidate, more than likely in 2024, if this vote holds up, right? I'm not sure who that's going to be. If I had to, and I am a gambling man, and I had to put money on it, I would lean towards AOC. Eventually, one of them is going to come out of that side of the Democrats. There's nothing you can do to stop it. In my opinion, if the Democratic Party didn't fuck over Bernie Sanders, it would have been him in 2016 as the candidate, and it would have been, or him in 2020. Either way, they boned him out of 2 elections. At that point, you're not going to be able to stop that movement for long. They're only adding people to the squad. Clearly, there is that party is fractured in 2, and I'm not sure who wins out of that. But if it keeps going like this, and you control social media and everything else, more than likely it will be somebody younger, like an AOC or somebody like that, right?
Right.
On the Republican side, me personally, I think there's a lot of great younger candidates like Dan Crenshaw, Nikki Haley out of South Carolina, but my gut is saying the rise of Ivanka in 2024. I think people are ready for a woman as president. Looking at these votes right now, as they stand right now without a recount, Trump got 71 million votes. I don't know what is going to be stronger than the Trump name in 2024, especially if there is a conspiracy that he got cheated out of this election. What is better, a Hollywood ending, than Ivanka avenging the loss of her father and then getting in office? And who is going to vote? The way social media is today, and again, it's all branding and everything else, and if that's the way the presidency is going, then a hot, blonde Trump that is with Jared Kushner behind the scenes, that dude is the one that's been cutting all these deals in the Middle East. That is where I would lean right now, is Ivanka. And is there a better story for the media? And would that save the media after 2? Because election season will start here in about 2.5 years, right? Mm-hmm. They're going to need a story at that point. If it is the rise of Ivanka at that point, it could bring the media back from the dead, and it would certainly keep up the excitement on the Republican side and keep the anger there to go out and vote. So that would be my guess on that. What were you saying? I'm sorry.
Oh no, it was just a comment that I was just wanting to read because they
Go
paid
ahead.
us some $5.
Yeah, yeah, go ahead.
First generation immigrants from Mexico are conservative. Their kids who grew up here don't know how good they have it. So, sorry, that was just going along with what you were saying.
Yep.
But yeah, look, first of many conversations about this, right?
Yeah.
First of many. You are technically right. It is not over. So, we are going along with the information that comes out.
And the information that we have currently right now.
Absolutely.
And so if this holds up, this is what this is. If there's going to be a massive 2020 surprise, it would certainly be that the vote is overturned. And my God, it would be hilarious. Everything would burn, but it would be really funny. And
do you
we'll see what
feel
happens.
like that is a slippery slope to go down? Of like exposing, if they do, massive voter fraud?
I've always had a problem with mail-in voting through this entire thing because it can be easily manipulated or sent to the wrong place. And, people have died. Look, we moved. When we moved houses in North Carolina, I had a ballot sent to my other house and it was like,
right.
All right, well, who did somebody fill that out? I wouldn't know.
Right.
And if you're just sending it in, you don't have to put an ID or anything with it. So I'm not sure.
Can I throw you a hard one, Ross?
Yeah.
What if it's proven voter fraud, but then he wins because of hanging Chad and other votes that get discredited, which did come from real people?
That is
if it's somewhere in the middle. Because what you're saying, what we're saying is like, if we prove this voter fraud, we want the honest, truthful answer.
Right.
But then what if only part of that comes?
Right. And if it's incorrect, if the ballots are filled, like the naked ballots they were talking about, that's why the celebrities did that stupid thing of like, if it's not filled out correctly, it doesn't count.
Is that why?
Yes.
God, I didn't even fucking pay attention to that.
Well, we have to, I do 1,000 shows a week, therefore I have
to.
I didn't want to know that answer, Jessie.
I know. I'm just saying, me personally, I couldn't do that one. But go ahead.
Yeah. And then the last winner here is Alex Jones. He was on our election show. The first question I asked him on that election show on Drinkin Bros was, how is this going to turn out tonight? Trump's going to win a landslide, and the Dems are going to steal the election on mail-in ballots, and it's all going to be rigged at the end of the night. It was the first thing he said in the opening 5 minutes of our live show. Everybody keeps sending me messages on that. I know. I asked him the question. I was there. And it's exactly what happened. So
Bernie also said that as well.
Well, he didn't say the election was going to be rigged. He
didn't say that, but he said Trump will be winning, and then all of a sudden, all these things are going to magically come through, and Biden will then win.
Yeah. Well,
but,
so I can go with the guest that was on my show, and that was it. So, hey, man, we'll find out. We will find out. But Alex was correct again. No. Alex was correct again. Biden or Bernie, to my knowledge, said that the mail-in ballots will not be counted, and once they are, Biden will be the winner. But he didn't think Trump would let them get counted or whatever. So
okay,
they did. They did get counted. So he was incorrect in that. They have been counted. Now, whether they've been counted correctly is another story. So we'll see.
Gotcha.
We do have sponsors that pay for this show to be on the air. First and foremost, ghostbed.com/Drinkin Bros. Jabes. They're going to be doing a massive Black Friday sale. So I know that they've got 30% off if you're a member of the military, or first responder, a teacher, or work in the government in this life that goes forever. So if you're working one of those positions, you're good to go. You will always get 30% off. The rest of us dummies getting 25% off a mattress and 2 free pillows right now. And then there is going to be a monster Black Friday sale. So if you want to wait a little bit, it is coming up in 2 weeks. So proud of all you guys for doing that. And as always, they got a 36-month pay-as-you-go program, no interest. I'm also proud of you guys for doing that as well over at GhostBed. Like, they just continue with these thunderous deals. And it's amazing to see. Go to ghostbed.com/Drinkin Bros today. Get yourself a mattress if you need it. Next up, Jabes, StrikeForceEnergy.com.
Shablinker.
Wow. lasts longer than 5-hour energy. Lasts 6. And, it's longer than that. I'm all hyped up on it every day. Put it in some water and you're good to go. I have that, the Liquid IV, and that is it for me in this life. Like, I'm ready to rock when I greet the day, Jabes. 4 amazing flavors: grape, original, lemon, and orange. 10-pack, 40-pack, 750-milliliter bottle. Tasty, tiny little tin pouch. Rip it open and squeeze it into any liquid available, and you're ready to go. You're ready to coach like a champion, Jabes. Go to strikeforceenergy.com, promo code REVOLUTION, 20% off. They ship everywhere in the entire world. We love it. We love it.
We love it. And I want to commend our sponsors because they let us, or don't mind us, saying whatever we want.
Yeah.
We've actually had sponsors recently that started asking like how, what we talk about, if we talk about these certain things, and we're not using them, right? So for us, we definitely don't want anyone to, and the YouTube numbers, they are what they are. We have iTunes, we have the people that listen and try and find us. So, we're not going to answer to any sponsors that aren't like down for
us,
and the product wasn't that good anyways, and we don't want to sell you that kind of shit, so whatever.
Yeah, man. So they don't care what we say politically or do or any of that stuff, and freedom of speech is important on both sides.
It is, but that's kind of how you get it, right? So we were talking about the media. They are now answering to money.
Correct.
And the only way to get away from that and be able to say what you want to say is to be more discerning about the sponsors that you pick, which we do. So stay tuned.
Stay tuned. That's that's all we can say and do in this life. Man.
Logo down.
Logo down, dude. Strike Force Energy logo down.
That's okay.
That is just resting there. There like a little baby up there.
It's all right. Strike Force.
Now you got Manscaped up there. You got.
I thought you guys were going to do that next. You kind of have it on this whole sponsor spiel.
No, we don't. Know when we only got 2 today, right?
We only have 2 today. You guys know about Manscaped. We'll talk about them later.
Yeah, they're great. I just got that weed whacker too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Ready to rock with that, Jabes. Ready to rock with that. With the pandemic happening and everything else. I'm not sure what's going to happen with the country shutdown. Like, I'm not going to be amped about that if that's what ends up happening. The weird thing about seeing all those people celebrating in New York is shut down. Everybody's leaving there, and now you're voting. You just voted for, man, we hate the other guys so much that we would rather be out of work and try to get checks from the government. I'm not sure what's going to happen with that.
Right.
That seems strange to me. It was just like, yeah,
my dream of the second half in New York, as you say, is dwindling every day.
It feels like it's. At this point, a lot of people that I've talked to, since Biden got in, they're fully expecting a shutdown and mask to be mandatory everywhere for a certain amount of time. Holy shit. You want to talk about a riot. Like, that's the only thing I'll burn something down over, is if I have to wear a mask out everywhere. I've had this lingering sickness for a while now. You and I were talking about this morning, and it's like the only thing I can possibly attribute this to is putting on these fucking dirty, weird masks on, in and out, going out of places, and I'm like, oh fuck, man. I don't know really what else it is, but I can tell you this: if this is what ends up happening and all this other stuff, movie theaters will be out of business. By the way,
yeah.
These pop-up drive-ins. You and I went to one on Saturday night. We took the kids. Just because simply was in the neighborhood. But these pop-up drive-ins will kind of be the thing. I don't see movie theaters hanging around that much longer here. They can't. Not only because they're financially going bankrupt, they don't have any product to put in these theaters whatsoever. So next big prediction is that is gone. These movie theaters will be gone here very, very shortly. Curious to see what happens to the rest of these businesses now. And whether or not you believe these numbers and the vaccine and all that other stuff, right? Because, look, the vaccine's not coming until what, January?
Yeah, they said a couple months.
So, look, that was right in line with what Trump said. So, what do we do for the next couple months? Biden is still not in there, and he does not go in until January 21st. So, what's going to happen with that, and is that one of the very first mandates? Like that's something that I will be looking for on that date of because there will be some executive orders and things will be pretty swift to come down on that. I hope it's not the mask thing and the businesses and everything else because I don't know how the economy is going to hold up from that, but we'll see. We'll see what happens as we go along. My Bush hat is baller. By the way, somebody said my Bush light hat is baller right now. They're sending me some goodies. Some Bush Crocs I heard are on the way, so I can't wait to wear those on the show.
Crocs.
Dead serious Bush Crocs.
That's funny.
Really funny, yeah. Really funny.
Love it.
But other than that, the other thing that I wanted to say is the winners to end this show on the winners was our listeners. We truly have the best listeners on the planet. A bunch of them were here for the election show and hanging out and watching all of the live shows. The support we got from you guys has been unbelievable. The show has tripled this month, and we're on the charts because you guys keep going to iTunes and rating the show. So we're back on the charts. Again, it is not the millions of listeners we have. It is simply the reviews and the 5-star ratings, and we were ahead of Oprah as of Friday on the charts for podcasts. So go and rate the show, Ross Patterson Revolution on iTunes, and leave a quick review. That's what really helps. All of the people too who bought, I don't have a copy of it here. Maybe it's over there somewhere. Or somebody took it. Who knows? Who bought?
Didn't you sign it to somebody?
No, not the fake one because it's not for resale yet.
Oh, okay.
As the sun rises, it dawns on him. The new book by St. James Street James was the. There it is. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. Close.
Sorry. So he just bets on sports. He doesn't play it.
You got my joke ahead
He
of me.
just bets on sports. He's not. There's a difference
Did I
in
steal your joke, Giorgio?
better. It's a difference in betting on it than actually playing it.
I had to thread it through like 4 cameras.
Wow, you're
No,
you could have done a lot better with that toss.
There's lights.
You
I know,
tomahawk.
it was good. It was
I
good.
saved something back there.
Yeah.
The new book was the #1 release on Amazon Thursday after the trailer came out and the drop of it. So I'm unbelievably grateful for that. That is crazy. Ironically, it knocked Barack Obama's book off of the chart just for one day. Just for one day. Amazon updates pretty much every 20 to 30 minutes. So for one full day, as the sun rises, it dawns on him was #1 on Amazon. So I appreciate it. Go out and buy that now. It comes out December 8th. It'll be out in time for Christmas. The last one got banned for about 3 weeks on Amazon, and then people bitched and overturned it and everything else. They were asking me if there was a way to combat that. Yes, there is. We've never done this before in books. We don't traditionally do it ever, but the paperback version of this I'm going to release on the same day. So if there is a problem with the hardbacks that you pre-ordered or any other issue, I will drop the paperback on the same day. Now, these print the day, so you will get it in 48 hours. And there's not that. Hardbacks take a while, but paperback you can print on the day and get it out the door. That way, everybody for Christmas will have the book that they actually ordered. And you might have to order it twice, and I apologize, but at least you will have it. And I'm not going to wait. Typically, it's a year. You wait a year for the paperback. We're not going to do it. We'll just release it on the day. That way, everybody will have a copy of it. I'm as excited as you guys are about it. And this one gets dark. People were asking me, they were like, how is this different? I was like, there's some dark shit in this one. It fits extremely well with what's going on in America. On accident, I wrote it, I finished it, 6 months ago or whatever that was, 8 months ago. The edits is what takes the longest part, so that's 6 months. But it fits the tone of society today and the anger in there and everything else. But it's crazy, fucking hilarious, and I didn't stop. So just know that, political correctness-wise, it is just as aggressive as everything else there is. So, yeah, I went all in. That's all I can say for this. I went all fucking in, and I did not hold back. One of the chapters is one of the darkest shit that I've ever written in my entire life. So have fun and enjoy it. Who made you the nooner
I think
koozies.
Julia made these.
Yes, she
right?
did.
And stickers and stuff
Yep.
and shirts and
Yes.
man, I miss our live studio audience.
I know.
But
I know. You know what I don't miss though is somebody fucked on our couch in the green room and broke it.
But look, that's what, that's life, right? If you're going to invite the Nooners into your home, they're going to fuck some shit up. But they're
Yeah.
also going to bring you Franklin's barbecue. Do you know what I mean? So it's like,
I got 15 pounds of Franklin's that day.
So
it was
you
magical.
made up for it. You made up for it.
It was magical. No, we had a blast with you guys. Whoever fucked in the green room, congratulations. That's awesome.
Congrats.
I would have done it too. You know?
Right?
I think the Franklin's value was probably more than the couch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
We can always get a new couch, but Franklin's actually takes like 27 days or something like that. Don't you have to order it like 27 days
Yeah, I think
in
I can get a
advance?
new couch today by 3.
Get that today on
Yeah.
Amazon, yeah. But
Yeah.
Franklin's, no, it's like a 27-day order in advance there.
Sure.
I'm going to go deep puff. But we should call, what do you call it, Puffy Mondays?
Oh, yeah, Puffy Monday.
Yeah.
I'm having a Puffy Monday. Look at those.
Same.
under
I
eyes.
had 38 beers this weekend. I don't drink too much beer anymore just simply because of the fact of, we're on air every day and it's like, hey, man, it's tough.
Right.
This weekend I did. Had a lot of pizza. I haven't had pizza in a long time either, man. And really went for it this weekend. Not so much the depression of the election a little bit, but just simply these last 2 weeks have been a gauntlet of interviews and everything else and complete madness. And I just said, fuck it. I'm all in. I'm stuffing all of the things in my face all day long, and I'm going to forget about how I look on camera and everything else for a few days.
Yeah.
Because I needed it.
Welcome to my world. I never feel bad about eating good food ever. It defeats the whole purpose. Like
I do, because my face is just a fucking balloon. It just looks like a honey baked ham right now.
Cut it out.
So nothing I can do about it. I went hard, and I needed it. I needed a reset. I needed to reset, and I'm starting to get the voice back. Everything is going good. Everything is going good. We appreciate you tuning in, kids. We will be back with you tomorrow, as we always are, and then we'll see what happens with the recount thing and everything else. We'll be following along with you, and then we'll get you some new crime corners as well.
Crime Corners, and we will talk about AOC's list tomorrow.
I think I'm on it.
You must be.
Is that real? I heard she was starting a blacklist.
Oh, it's very
Yeah.
real.
It is real.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah, we'll talk
I
about
hope
that
to be on
tomorrow.
it.
I'm sure you will.
That's one list. I would love to be on.
For 2020?
Ugh.
Yeah.
If she notices me enough to cancel me, I've made it.
Chrissy Teigen was canceling people today too. So we'll chat about her tomorrow as well.
Yeah.
So we'll see how all of this shakes out. Appreciate you tuning in, kids. We'll see you tomorrow, same time. Subscribe on YouTube to Drinkin Bros podcast. It encompasses all of our shows here. What's up, Japes?
How long can I say be best now?
Oh, shit.
That campaign, it's
Yeah.
the saddest thing that stopped.
It really
Was
helped
the
out so many
Be
people.
best. And we need it now more than ever because nobody gives a fuck about Christmas. You have to be best because I'm fucking out of here, right? She's like, have fun with the be best because I'm going to go. Love you guys. But still be best.
She's probably amped about getting the fuck out of there. I can tell you that, Melania.
Oh, the memes about her running. Oh, wait.
Every first lady, by the way, has hated it.
It's a dump.
Right?
Who was it? Was
She's working like an ass.
Michelle Obama too. Was just like when she was kind of on that hot mic in France, and she was like, "I fucking hate being first lady." I get it. You know,
Right?
you got to do all that stupid shit, and I understand that one. I understand. Even Trump didn't live there, living in a museum.
Right.
But grab your binoculars. We'll see what happens, kids, during the recount or whatever the fuck's gonna happen. We'll be here with you every day. Tomorrow we'll go over AOC's list, though. That'll be fun. For Jessie Wiseman, a.k.a. The Jables, I'm Ross Patterson. This is The Revolution. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon. Be bye.